Thanks to Feeder Masters, this winter we've had a fantastic new feeder competition to focus on. It's a 6-match series, 3 matches before Christmas, 3 matches after Christmas. We've just fished round 3. This is a quick update of the story so far. Well, whilst I've been aware of Hallcroft since it was first created years and years ago, it's not a venue I've ever match fished before. So this has been really a fantastic little project just to get to know the venue. It's about 40 miles away from where I live in Sheffield. My partner for this event is Retford, and he's fished the venue on and off over the last few years, mainly for silverfish. This particular competition, for you guys that don't know, it's feeder only. It's a pairs competition. Carp count as a pound, so no matter how big the carp is above a pound, it will only count for a pound. Free running rigs have got to be used, and there's a 50cm hook length rule as well. As you can imagine, the key is really to target the skimmers, but there's been a lot of roach caught as well so far. We've now moved into fishing with bloodworm and joker, and I think most pairs are fishing that. The weather's gone cold now, as you are all more than aware. The last round was 2.5–3 weeks ago. We're currently lying in 5th place. It's very tight at the moment. There are 30 pairs fishing the competition. We're in 5th place, but it's that tight that we're less than 2 pounds behind the pair in 2nd place. I haven't done any live match footage for this competition that a lot of subscribers will know. So here's just a quick update on the rounds so far. Round 1 I drew on Moat Outer. I drew next to Michael Buckwalder, one of the best feeder anglers you're ever going to fish against. The interesting thing about this particular round was that it was still, well, it was a little bit milder than it is now. Our plan was not to take bloodworm and joker on that first round, so we obviously didn't fish it. So it was really interesting to see the fish that I caught in comparison to those around me. I managed to win the section. I only had 11 fish for 12 pounds, and that was enough to win the section, which is obviously not a mega weight. They were skimmers. In total comparison to that, Michael on my right, he had something like 60 fish for about 11 pounds. Absolute incredible net of fish. I don't really know if he fished bloodworm or joker or not, but it was just a massive comparison to say we were only, 2 pegs away from each other. Round 2, I went and drew the same peg. Couldn't believe it. I don't know what the odds are of that, I haven't got a clue. But this time we were armed with bloodworm and joker. The weather was a lot colder. We had a very cold wind blowing from right and in. I actually went on to, I was 2nd in the section. I got ounced for the section by about 6 ounces. But the biggest deal for me was the fact that I had 60 odd fish that day. Complete comparison. I had lots of little roach, and I had a few little skimmers, hand-sized skimmers, but it was just unreal to say it was the same peg. It was completely different from how it had been 2 weeks previous. So I think that's something we really need to be aware of, On the first match I obviously caught skimmers. Michael on my right, he didn't catch any, so that was probably suggesting that these skimmers are in pockets, and that's something we really need to be wary of in the coming rounds. Round 3 was 2 weeks ago-ish, depending on when I upload this. We had bloodworm and jokers. It was snowing. I haven't done any live match footage from it or any of these matches, but what I did do was a quick 2-minute intro before the match, just so you can see the peg, see the weather, see the conditions, and just have a quick look at the kind of kit that I've been using so far. Feeder Masters pairs, round 3. As you can see, that snow's just arrived. They predicted it was going to come at 9 o'clock. They reckon it's going to snow till about 2 o'clock. I've drawn peg 102. I'm not doing a live match today. I just thought I'd do a quick intro. I've drawn next to David Wood, that I mentioned before, runs Bag Up TV. So I'll do some filming at the weighing if it's light enough. We're fishing till 3:30, so it might be too dark, but hey ho, I'll put the results on for you. I've drawn 102, got David Wood at that side. At this side, under the brolly, is James Dent, and then the next angler down is on the end peg. As you can see, there's ice over in the far corner. There was more ice than this, it's clearing now, as you'd expect. But yeah, it's a peg like any other peg. Both rounds I've drawn down there. The previous 2 rounds, it's exactly the same width here, it's exactly 44 metres to that platform opposite. But yeah, I'm not doing a live match like I say, but I'll put the results on for you. Just usual setup for those that are interested. That's a rod for chucking across. And then a couple of
11 foot soft rods for fishing for skimmers. I've got bloodworm and joker. I've got some dead pinkies, some live pinkies, some dead maggots. I've got some chopped worm, ground bait, leam, everything, just to cover every option. But yeah, I'm just going to fish exactly how I've fished on the previous 2 rounds. Myself and Richard have kind of caught as many fish as anybody around us, if not more. So what we're doing must be right. We're just hoping we're going to get a peg with a few fish in it. So there was a good weight of skimmers here yesterday, 44 pound over on Moats on the island. 44 pound. They might have only been in those pegs, but at least it shows that there's a few feeding. So that's it. Dad's in the van. I think he's got the best idea today. So that's it. I'll see you after the match. Right, well that's that. Really frustrating session, that. Really frustrating. I've got a few small skimmers. I've got one over a pound. I've had a really good spell with 2 hours to go. I've changed 2 things and I've had a really good run of fish, and I really thought that was it. I got it sewn up, but it's just not happened. Dente on my right, he's had 4 net fish in the last 30 minutes, so I'm pretty sure that will beat me. And I think Dave Wood on my left, he got 4 fish before I caught at the start. I had a really slow start and I think he might have beat me as well. Really frustrating. And get his kit packed away before it goes dark.
I really wanted to film the weigh-in from that, but I just wasn't able to because we fished an extra 15 minutes later than normal, just because Lee, Kerry and Luke Sears had done a fantastic job walking around the fishery beforehand, just trying to sort the pegging out, because large areas were actually iced up, and so by the time it got to weighing in it was virtually dark, so I couldn't film the weigh-in, so I do apologise for that. I was winning the section up until the last probably 30 minutes, 25 minutes. I felt really in control of winning that section, albeit with a very low weight. And James Dent just kind of, he was 2 pegs to my right, and he's really just stuck to his guns all day. I couldn't see him properly, but I gather he's had a plan. He's been partnering Tom Pickering, and it looked like he'd had a plan to just stick to it and be patient, and that's what he's done. He's had a really slow 4 hours, and then the last 30 minutes he's had 5 net fish, which has gone on to win the section. He's beat me for the section by about 8 ounce, 9 ounce, something like that. So it was second in the section again for me, but it was only £6.15. So, and James won the section with £7. I don't know what it was, 7 or 8, something like that. So the story so far, we're kind of keeping up with everybody around us or beating them, which is great. I mean, that obviously must mean that what we're doing isn't far off the mark. But what I haven't told you is that this competition is not a points competition. It's not done on section points, it's done on weight. So yeah, winning your section or second in your section every week is brilliant, it's great. Obviously it's a good confidence boost for what you're doing, but we need some weight. We're in 5th place. We are less than £2 behind the pair in 2nd, which is Michael Buckwalder and Paul Holmes. So obviously we've got our eyes set on just kind of avoiding a blowout, and secondly, if we do get a draw in the next 3 rounds, we've got to absolutely capitalise on it and catch as many fish as we possibly can to get some weight back on those leaders. The leaders after 3 rounds are Lee Kerry and Will Freeman, who are still up there. They've got a cracking weight of £66. Second place is Michael Buckwalder and Paul Holmes on £55. I'm not going to read all this to you because it'll be boring. For those that are interested, I'm going to put this up at the end of the video so you can scrutinise it. I know so many of you scrutinise all these details, but that's it. That's the story so far. Our plan is just kind of to stick at what we're doing. We might need to tweak things a little bit. We're expecting it getting harder, but we've just got to avoid a blowout, feeling his way into matches, and just kind of just not making any silly mistakes. But that's it. Huge thank you to Feeder Masters for running this. It's a fantastic thing to focus on this winter. And, you know, massive thank you to you for just kind of making the match go ahead last week. Bad conditions, really unfortunate 2 pairs couldn't make it last week because the conditions were bad where they lived and they just couldn't get there. So that's a real shame. But that obviously means 28 pairs didn't make it. And in those conditions, it shows you how keen they all are for this competition. Great job, Feeder Masters. That's it. I'll keep you updated on the next rounds. I know you're going to be interested, and thanks for watching, really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. There's a video every single night through January, every single night, and who knows what's going to happen in February. Get subscribed up, you'll be kept in the loop. Thanks for watching, I'll see you all tomorrow.